Sonos, the audio product developer, had a great Christmas when it reported earnings and price surge roughly 15% after reporting a big beat in its fiscal first quarter results, and said it was on track to meet its previous guidance for the current fiscal year. So is there more upside for Sonos? Let's go to the charts. Let's look at the monthly chart first. And let's see if price wants to break a potential downtrend line. And we did have a close above the downtrend line. Usually when this takes place, price likes to pull back to the trend line before resuming higher. I'm going to mark this level at 2371 because that's where we saw previous resistance. So price is at 20, could move a couple of dollars higher. Let's go to the weekly chart. Now price is hugging this short-term uptrend line. You did have a breach of the short-term uptrend line, but you didn't have a close. So this short-term trend line is still valid. I like this area here. Let's just mark it and we can look at it a bit more on the daily chart. Okay, let's go to the daily chart. Now when we look at the daily chart, we see this huge gap. This is the 50% surge after earnings. We also have a gap to the downside on that occurred in August of last year. So the question becomes, which gap gets filled first? So we're going to call this doji candle in control. So let's mark that off. We'll put that in white. No, let's do it in orange. That's the 4 o'clock bell, closing the stock market for today on Friday. So typically what happens with a candle in control is that whatever side the subsequent candles close above or below, that's typically where price is going to head next. Just want to distinguish these lines. So we have to wait a couple more days to see what happens, or maybe Monday to see what happens with the next candle. Now, if I had to guess, we're going to close this gap first before we close this gap. Reason being, this surge is an opportunity for folks that were already in the stock to take some profits. We also have price potentially wanting to pull back to the short-term trend line. We also have on the monthly downtrend line, once you close above it, typically you test it before moving higher. Now, I did want to look at this area a bit more that I marked off on the weekly chart. It's okay. Nothing spectacular. Just looking for maybe a volume surge in this area here, which I don't really see. However, price did take out these two pivot highs. So we'll mark it off as a level of interest. And we'll call that daily buyers at 1540, which would coincide with the monthly downtrend line. One last thing, if we do get a breakout to the upside, the risk to reward is going to be small due to this pivot high at the 2371. So what's the better trade? There's no trade. Just got to sit on your hands and wait for price action to show you a setup. Until next time.